everyone, my name is Heba and welcome back. Let's talk about the new products that Chanel came out with for their 2023 fall collection. And it's called the Equinox collection for 2023. So let's see what's in this collection. They came out with a brand new product. It's the Ombre Premier Libra Loose Eyeshadows. And there are 6 shades in that. 2 new blushes, the Blush Harmony, and 6 new shades in the Rouge Cocoa Blooms lipsticks. And it says here that 1 is new and 5 are re-releases. And I believe the first one there, 150, is the new shade. And 2 new nail polishes. And I believe all of these are limited edition. These are available at Nordstrom, Bloomingdale's, Chanel's website. I'm assuming at the boutiques too. A good friend on Instagram, Ski Couture, she's the one who let me know that Nordstrom had it. So luckily I was going to Dallas yesterday. So I went to Nordstrom and picked some up, and I also swatched all of them, the loose eyeshadows, the blushes, and the lipsticks that they had. And I did an Instagram reel and YouTube short, and I'll put it here so you can see it and also link it down below. So what I picked up were 4 of the loose eyeshadows, both blushes, and 3 of the lipsticks. So let's go with the eyeshadows first. And again, I did pick up 4 out of 6 shades that they came out with. And this is a brand new product from Chanel, loose eyeshadows. And the 6 shades in the loose eyeshadows, they echo the colors of the fall equinox. Equinox? Equinox. I know that word I'm having a hard time saying. But that's the start of Gabrielle Chanel's favorite season, which is mine too, because it's cooler. The leaves start to turn, even though it starts to turn around winter time here in North Texas, but do love the fall winter seasons. So these are a luxurious powder eyeshadow composed of pearlescent particles and intense pigments. They offer deep, vibrant color with a satin sheen. Light and powdery, the texture is as fine as a puff of dust, becoming creamy upon application for a smooth finish. The long-lasting formula delivers a flawless eye look for up to 8 hours. So the shades that I got were 404, 406, 412, and 414, 2 of the darkest shades there. So here's what the glass bottle looks like, and you can see the shade on the bottom, and of course the shade name, I hope I have it in the right direction, and the Chanel logo on top. And when you open it up, you need to be careful because it is loose eyeshadow. There's a small little, I guess like a nubby doe foot applicator. I mean, that's really short. I was wondering how you can get the pigment down in the bottom, but I'm assuming you can kind of shake it up. These cost $40 each, and you do get 4 grams of product in here, which is, let me look, 0.14 ounce. I did try these when I got home last night. I did 1 on each eye just to kind of get a feel for them. So I think right now what I'm going to do is swatch them on my hand for you and then put 1 on each eye. 2 at a time, I guess you could say. And then see how it looks, and then maybe do a completed look with 1 or 2 of these eyeshadows. But right now, let me go ahead and swatch them on my arm and on each eye. So hopefully you can kind of see the difference of these shades and see how it'll look on my skin tone. So let's start with 404. There is a 402, but that one's a little light for me. It's pretty and it's a little bit more metallic-y. And 404, I know I'm going to say these French names wrong. Chien Bron? But let's just call it 404 for now. So here's what it looks like on the applicator. So again, these are loose eyeshadows, so it will be messy. I'm wearing an old shirt. I probably should wear a towel on my lap, and there will be fallout on your cheeks. So you may want to do the eyes first. And that's typically what I like to do anyway, do my eyes first. So okay, let me go ahead and swatch it on my arm. Again, this is 404. Let me go a little deeper or build it up. Let me see what happens if I shake it. Let me shake it. Okay, there we go. All right, so here's 404. It's more of a brown, and it also looks kind of matte. Even though it did say it has some pearlescent particles in here, I see it more of a matte. Okay, so let me go ahead and apply it on this eye. Let me use the applicator first, and I have no eyeshadow primer. Now it's not dragging my skin, which is nice. Okay, so it's real easy to apply, and actually I don't see much of fallout with this shade. So what I'm going to do next is apply some on my hand, just some loose powder like that. And then using a brush, this one's by BK Beauty, the Angie Hot and Flashy, the 502. And let's see if I can pick some up. Oh, I did pick it all up there off of my hand. And let's see if we can apply it in my crease. Okay, it was very easy to apply. It is very smoothing. Doesn't look like a powder or anything like that. And this is a pretty kind of a warm brown shade. Probably use this one as a transition, or actually I kind of like it as a one and done shade. Very pretty. Now let's go to 406. And I have to say, out of the 4 that I got, this one's a little bit more, let me shake it, more metallic-y. Very pretty coppery shade. And you can see that it has more shimmer than 404. So let me use the applicator first. And yeah, I'm already feeling some of the fallout on my cheek and on my lashes. Let me add some on my hand. Pick it up with a brush and then blend it out. Very pretty shade. Very pretty coppery metallic-y shade. Let me try using my finger and see what will happen. Oh yeah, you can use your finger too. And that's what I like to use for metallic-y shades, is my finger. Oh, that's very pretty. Now, I don't know if I'll use this one as a one and done, because I do need something in my crease. That's just how I prefer it. But after I swatch these, I may incorporate this shade with other shades. I don't know. We'll see, because they're both very pretty. And this one does have a lot of fallout. I hope you can see that on my cheek there. Let me turn off the light. Yeah, you can see that right there. Oh, and I realized I used a different brush. This is also by BK Beauty, the 212. You know, I really do like this one, 404, that brown shade. Very pretty, again, for a one and done. And this one's pretty too. But I hope again that you can see that this one's more of a matte and this one's more of a metallic finish. All right, let's take you off. Now let's go the darker shade, and this one's 412. Yeah, this one's a dark, kind of like a plummy shade. This one's also more of a matte finish too, but I do like this plummy shade. It's gonna be another one of those one and done type shades. This one I had to wipe some more and it's still kind of wet, so let me put 412 on this side. Again, I can already feel some of the loose powder on my cheeks. Now it does look a little blotchy here, but let me get a brush. Actually, let me put some on my hand. So there it is on my hand, and let's pick some up and then blend this out. Again, this one's a very pretty shade for a one and done, but I did notice that it is kind of blotchy. It seems to have less color in the center of my eye. I hope you can see that. And there's a lot more fallout with these darker shades. So let me use my finger and see what will happen. So using my finger does kind of blend it out a little bit better. And this is more of a purpley, plummy shade. Very pretty as a one and done. And again, I don't see it as a metallic. I do see a little bit of a sheen, but it's not as metallic-y as the last one, the copper one, 406. Now let's go into the dark one, 414. And this one's dark. So here are the 4 shades that I got. 404, 406, 412, and 414. And again, this one does look more matte than this one. So for the dark one, I think using the applicator would be just too messy, and I think it'll be too blotchy. So let me use my finger and see how that would work. So I got some on my finger here. Oh yeah, it's still kind of have fallout there. I felt that. So again, in the center, you can kind of see that it's just a little blotchy. You see more color on the inner and outer corner. Be good for a halo look. So let me put some more on my hand and use a brush to get in that crease. Okay, I hope you can see that it is blotchy. You can see right in the center there, there's hardly, much pigment there. Let me use my brush and go inside. I wonder if this brush is too big. Let's just see what will happen. Ooh, okay, I think I picked up too much. So this is what it'll look like if you dip it with your brush. So let's just kind of tap off the excess. I'm gonna put it on the Kleenex. And this is what came out right there. Okay, let's see if this will work, or did I take too much off? Yeah, I think I took too much off. So let me go again. Let's see if I can pat it on in the center. Oh yeah, it's just falling on my cheeks here. Yeah, I think the darker the shade, the harder it's going to be and the messier it gets. I mean, look at that. All to try to get this spot here covered. I mean, it's a pretty color, very deep, dramatic. Another one that can be used as a one and done, but it's just too messy and kind of blotchy. That's what I'm getting, but let me go ahead and wash my face because now it looks like I have a black eye, doesn't it? very messy. And then I'll be back and let's do a look with 2 of these shades. And I think one of them will not be 414, the deepest one. I think that's just gonna be too messy. Okay, let me go clean up. Okay, I had to wash my face and reapply my skincare because it was just too messy using a wipe. So I hope I got everything. Yeah, I should have. Yeah, it looks good. So I'm gonna try to make a look with maybe 2 or 3 products. We'll see how it looks. I'm also gonna prime my eyes this time. When I was swatching them, I didn't prime my eyes. So let's use this one by Fenty Beauty. So which shade should I use? I know I want to use this metallic-y shade, the copper one, 406. And I want to use these 2. This one, not going to even bother. I think this is just too dark, too messy, and too blotchy. It's a pretty color. It's a pretty color, and maybe you can work with it. But for me, I think it's just too blotchy. I need to figure out a way to not make it blotchy or messy. So that's going to take me some time. But let's go in with this first shade, 404. Put it on my hand and then use a brush to blend it out in my crease. I'm going to use a different brush because I think the brush that I use with 414, there's still some pigment on there. So I don't want to use this one. So I'm going into the Sonia G Blender Pro. Let's pick it up and apply it in the crease. Okay, that looked nice, even with a primer underneath it. Oh, it's very smoothing too. Very easy, very easy. Seems like that you kind of need to shake it up or put it upside down to get it in the applicator, on the applicator. Now let's go into 406, the metallic-y coppery one. And I'm gonna use my finger and just place that all over my lids here. Well, I may leave the outer corner free just in case. Okay, there is a little bit of fallout with that when I use my finger. I'm going to use a flat shader brush. This is by Sonia G and it's the Builder, and I'm going to apply it on the brush and I want to wet it. Let's see how that works. Oh, that gave it some shine there. Oh, it's not bad. And the brush just kind of helps me get that shade into my crease. Oh yeah, wetting the brush did kind of, gave it some oomph. All right, what do you think? Is the color combination pretty good? Almost. Now let me use 412 for the outer corner. Let's just, have some fun with it. I'm not going to use the applicator. I'm just going to put it on my hand. And let's use a pencil brush. This is by Repher number 12. Just pack that in the outer corner. And looking at its swatch, it does have a little bit of a sheen to it now. It's not as matte as I thought it would be. But I think it'd still be okay to use for an outer corner shade. Let me blend everything out here. All right, what do you think of the color combination? Yes, no, maybe? But it's very smoothing on the lids, that metallic copper shade, very metallic-y and coppery. And there is just a little bit of fallout using it that way, on my hand. Of course, it's messy on my hand. And then using a brush to apply it on, or even using your finger. And wetting that metallic shade does kind of bring out that shine. So let me go ahead and clean up, put some foundation on, finish the eyes, and we'll come back and play with the blushes and the 3 lipsticks. I'm back, and let me show you what I placed underneath my eyes. I used the same shade as my crease, 404, and just applied it using a brush and blended it underneath my eyes. And I didn't see any fallout with that because I already did my concealer and foundation, and I don't see much fallout with it. And it works well underneath the eyes too. So now let's move on to the 2 new limited edition blushes. And these are called Blush Harmony. And it comes in a fall-like package. On both sides, it has some kind of leaves. I think one side is one shade and the other side is the other shade. There are 2 shades in this collection. So I thought that was pretty cool. The powder eyeshadows just came in a regular Chanel black and gold box. But I kind of like how they did it with the blushes with the colors on either side. But these will be going into the recycling bin anyway. So when you get it out of the box, it does come with its famous Chanel velvet pouches. And then here's what the compact looks like. Typical Chanel blush package. Now these do cost $65 and you do get 9 grams of product in here, which is 0.31 ounce. So let's take a look at this one, which is 797, and there's also 798. But 797 is beige with coral. And I hope that you can see the embossing there. It has leaves. I hope this camera will do it justice. I don't know if you can see it without the light, but I hope that you can. It does have a pretty embossing, and I do hope that you can see it. I need my glasses to see it here now, but it has the leaves embossing plus the CC logo. And let's take a look at $7.98, and forgot to show you that it does come with a brush and a little cover. And then here is $7.98, beige rose and mauve. And then let me put them side by side so you can see them. So you can see this one's more coral, and this one does look more purpley, but it's mauve. Rose and mauve, whereas $7.97 is beige and coral. So these were created exclusively for the Fall Winter 2023 collection. The blush duo pairs an intense shade with a delicate one, calling to mind the contrast of color and light that are characteristic of the autumnal equinox. Soft, warm tones accentuate the cheeks and adds radiance to the complexion for a natural-looking healthy glow and luminous finish. The surface is embossed with the double C monogram and a leaf pattern as a tribute to Gabrielle Chanel's favorite season. So let me see if I can swatch $7.97, just the coral shade first. Okay, now let me see if I can swatch. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to swatch them separate. Yeah, let me just go ahead and swatch both shades together. Swatch you. That's a pretty coral shade. And then with $7.98, let me just do it the same. Swatch both shades together. Now it does look purple, but we'll see it on my skin to hopefully it doesn't look like a bruise like this one did on my eye. Before I try them on, let me compare the sizes with the other blushes that I have. And let me go into my favorite blush, 260 Alizane, and just compare it in size with that. So yeah, you get a lot more product here. And in this one, you get 6 grams of product. Now let's go into the Sunburst pattern blush. This one's Peach Rosé, and in this one you do get 14 grams of product compared to 9 over here. I think this one's going to be a little bit more peachy, but let's swatch it while we have it out. I'm going to put you here. So yeah, this one's a little bit lighter. This one's got some more pigment to it. Okay, so we swatched it and got it out of the way. Then I have the Illuminating Blush Powder, and here you get 8 grams of product in here. It's the one with the chain link embossing, and let's just compare the size. I think this one looks bigger in the pan, or is it just an optical illusion? No, I think they're both the same size in the pan. But this one you're getting 8 grams compared to 9 in this one. Now let's go into the oversized powder that I have, and this one's 15 grams compared to 9. So yeah, this one is oversized. Since I have this one out, I'm gonna go ahead and bronze my forehead just to give me some color. And my jaws here, and my nose. I'm not going to put it on my cheeks so we can see what the color looks like. So let's go into $7.97, and I'm using the Sonia G Soft Cheek. And let's see how this one will work. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, I just love the Chanel blushes. They just melt into the skin. Now with this shade, I do need to have like a bronzer, a contour, but it is very pretty. Let me just add a little bit more. Very pretty peachy shade. Let me go back into $7.97 with a little bit of a denser brush, also by Sonia G, and it's the Face Pro. Adds a little bit more color to it. Now let's go into this mauve one here, $7.97, using the Soft Cheek. And let's just place you in the back first. Okay, this one does look more mauve and more pigmented. I don't think I'll be using the Face Pro with this blush. I think it's gonna be just too much. I think this one does make me look like I have a bruise, this shade. But let me just blend it out. I didn't put any more on my brush. Okay, what do you think? Let me see what would happen if I add $7.97 on top of it. Okay, they did kind of tame it down a little bit, but yeah, $7.98. It's a little too purple on my skin tone. So let me just add a little bit on this side just to kind of even it out. Oops, my hair. And you just need a little bit. Yeah, it's probably what I should have done. Actually, you know, it's not bad if you just dip in just a little. That's not bad. So I guess with this shade, $7.98, you need to go light-handed. Yeah, it's not bad going in lightly. Put too much, looks like a bruise, but at least you can see the color. You know, it's not bad once you blend it out, but I think, again, go very light-handed. Still trying to blend it out, but I think that is as much as I can get. Did I blend it out okay, where it doesn't look like Someone whacked me in the face. I do like the peachy shade, $7.97. That's pretty. And actually $7.98 is not bad if you just go light-handed. Now let's go to the lips. The Cocoa Blooms. Now again, there are 6 shades in this collection and I did pick up 3. And I do read that 1 is new and 5 are re-releases. And again, the new one is $150 and unfortunately I didn't get that one. I think that one may be too light. Let me look and see what that shade looks like. It looks more like a beigey pink, maybe too light for me, but now I kind of wish I got it so I could try it. But the ones that I did get is 154 Kind, 158 Bright, and 160 Wild. Kind, Bright, and Wild. Kind of describes me. I don't know about that, but that was kind of neat that I picked those shades with those names. But anywho, let's go ahead and swatch these. These do cost $45 each, and this is what the bullet looks like. Classic Chanel with the silver belt. I believe the Cocoa Flashes, they have the gold belt. And I do like the Cocoa Blooms, the formula. It's very hydrating. It does say it plumps the lips, which I don't know if it does. And it has a high shine gloss to it. But let's look at 154. This is what the, of course, bullet, the lipstick looks like. Glides on very nice, and wow, what a beautiful red shade. Actually, it's more of a terracotta, I guess. I mean, it's just one swipe and it's just very comfortable on the lips. It does have a nice shine to it. The shine does kind of go away after a while. Even when the color's gone, my lips are still kind of hydrating. But this is number 154 Kind. It does look very fallish, doesn't it? Actually, I would say that this is more like a brick red. Again, very fall looking. Now let's go into 158 Bright. You can see that's a red. Yes, this one's a pretty red. Look at that. Yeah, that's a pretty red. Very pretty. Oh, messed it up right there, didn't I? And this one's 158 Bright. Ooh, I like this color too. I think the last one, 160 Wild, is gonna be really wild. So let's see what that looks like. Oh yeah, this one's a deep purple. Okay, so there's 160 Wild. So here, there's 3 swatches. All different, which is good. And this one kind of matches 412. The shade there. You know, this does look like the fall equinox, these shades here. All right, this one's wild, isn't it? Again, very light on the lips, very comfortable. And yeah, this does kind of matches the eye look a little bit. And the bruised side of my cheeks. All right, what do I think about this collection? Love the blooms, love the lipsticks, love the shades, even this one wild. The blushes, I think I like $7.97 a little bit better than $7.98 because this one does look like a bruise on my skin. You do need to go very light-handed because these blushes are pigmented. You would think it wasn't, but they are. I think $7.97 is just a pretty coral shade, and actually with $7.98, very lightly, it does work well together. But again, heavy-handed, yeah, it does look like a bruise. But I hope I blended out enough to where it looks like, you know, maybe a 5-day-old bruise. Now the loose pigments, let me go ahead and show it to you up close so you can see the colors on the bottom that I have. They're not bad, but you do need to go into knowing that these will make a mess. And I think the darker you go, the messier it is, the more fallout, and probably a little bit patchy. But I think that brown one that I put in the crease blended out very nice, very smoothing, very creamy on my lids. And even the second to the darkest one, which was 412, that one works as an outer corner. And you could also see the different shades. They're not muddying up with each other. And that copper shade, the metallic shade, very pretty. And I do like applying it with my finger for that metallic shade. And also with the brush, wetting it down. That one gave it some, you know, some light to it. And it also worked well using a primer, which is good. And you do have to shake it up to make sure you get some of the pigment into that little applicator. And if you use a brush to dip it in, make sure that you do tap it off. Then again, you may tap off too much of the pigment to apply to the lid. So I think so far, from what I'm doing, from what I'm seeing, it's better to use the brush and grab it from the applicator and then apply it on your eyes. Or your finger. Finger works good too. And maybe even place it on your hand. But directly from the applicator, it's just gonna be too messy. Too messy, especially the darker you go. It's something new from Chanel, these loose eyeshadows, And if you wanted to try one or two of these shades, just make sure that you know it's going to be messy. Just like with any loose powder, like the blush from Givenchy or any other type of face powder, you know how that could get messy. Those don't have color to it, these do, and they will leave a mess. So keep that in mind if you wanted to try these loose eyeshadows from Chanel. I think that's all I wanted to say about these. I hope I covered every aspect of it, but I'm sure that y'all subscribe to a lot more much better influencers than me. That will give you more information if I missed anything, because I do sometimes. But I think this is a pretty look using the fall collection, the Equinox collection from Chanel. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and it was helpful of me trying the new collection from Chanel, the Equinox for fall 2023. And if you liked and enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you can see more videos like this, and you will have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.